hear this lecture, I was involved in lecture transcription, and I heard so many lectures by that way. So I always feel like he can read my mind. By the way, I'm so indebted. I didn't know anything for my Guru Maharaj, but he did so much for me. That's what I can always feel like I'm so indebted. I have to do more for Guru Maharaj. And even today, like I got some appointment where I couldn't cancel it even last minute. Like yesterday, I was trying a lot to cancel the appointment. It was not happening. But today, the appointment got cancelled as it is. As it is, because I want to come early here. I want to serve the devotees here. I want to do something for Guru Maharaj. But the appointment got cancelled as it is. Like that person is saying, I can't have this today. I can't have this slot today. You please. That person is saying sorry to me. I thought it's Guru Maharaj plan. It's not you. It's not me. It's Guru Maharaj plan. That's why it is happening. So I just. Like throughout my life, when I started having this spiritual consciousness, Guru Maharaj is with me, guiding, and he is holding my hand every time. Like whenever, like I feel like I need his presence, or whenever I am in a challenging situation, I can see all the time Guru Maharaj is coming in any ways, like through some person, or sometimes in my dream. So I don't know like what I did for him, but he is doing so much for me, for my insignificant efforts, and he is doing so much for me. I should be like always in this, in his mood and his consciousness to help, to serve and to help other Vaishnavas in his mood. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for accepting this insignificant soul, and thank you all Vaishnavas for guiding me in this process. Hari Hari Bol, Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji, for your wonderful offering, and Ram Mukunda Prabhuji would like to read next. And everyone, please, can you move a little bit forward, because a lot of devotees come and there is no space. Thank you.
So when you're offering obeisances, etiquette, you offer it to first the Guru and then Srila Prabhupada. Thank you.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Tinamile Prabhupadasya Sahitam Yaprakash Vitiryeche Pracharam Kritvana Sadhu Bhagavata Te Namah. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. मेरा परम सौभाग्य है जो कि मैं पूज्य गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज के आश्रय में हूँ। महाराज जी का गुणगान मेरे जैसे जीव के लिए असंभव है, परंतु भक्तों का गुणगान करने के लिए हमारे श्रुति क्रम होता है और भगवान को बहुत प्रिय है भक्तों का गुणगान सुनना। मैं प्रयत्न करूँगा कि मैं महाराज जी का सही ढंग से गुणगान कर सकूँ और भगवान श्री कृष्ण को पसंद कर सकूँ। आध्यात्मिक गुरु का हमारे जीवन में बहुत महत्व है। हमारे प्रमाणित आध्यात्मिक गुरु मिलना किसी बद्ध जीव के लिए कोई सरल बात नहीं है। बद्ध जीव का इस संसार में जन्म मृत्यु के चक्र से निकल कर भगवत धाम जाना और कृष्ण से प्रेम प्राप्त कर सकने का बहुत कम चांस होता है। केवल एकमात्र साधना है कि प्रमाणिक गुरु की कृपा प्राप्त हो जाए। मेरा परम सौभाग्य है कि मुझे प्रमाणित गुरु की शरण प्राप्त हुई। गुरु के माध्यम से ही हम कृष्ण तक पहुंच सकते हैं, भगवत धाम जा सकते हैं। कृष्ण की सेवा करना ही हमारे भक्त बन सकते हैं। महाराज जी हमें अपने आचरण से सिखाते हैं कि हमें जप के प्रति, अपने अध्ययन के प्रति कितना संलग्न होना चाहिए। महाराज जी चाहे कहीं भी हो, चाहे स्वास्थ्य कैसा भी हो, महाराज जी सुबह की मंगला आरती खुद ही करते हैं। महाराज जी कहते हैं अधिक सोना मृत्यु के बराबर है। गुरुदेव 40 ऐसे देश हैं जहाँ वे पूजे जाते हैं। कुछ कंट्री के तो वह जीबीसी है और कुछ कंट्री के जीबीसी नहीं भी है तो लोग उनका वंदन करते हैं। रशिया में तो कई लाख लोग उन्हें उनके भक्त हैं, उनकी सेवा करते हैं। इस उम्र में भी महाराज जी अपने भक्तों की प्रसन्नता के लिए अमेरिका गए और बहुत मात्रा में सबको भक्त बनाया और दीक्षा दी। विश्व के कोने कोने में महाराज जी के शिष्य हैं। हिज होलीनेस गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज हमारे लिए कृष्ण कृपा रूप है और प्रभुपाद जी के विशेष सैनिक है। चैतन्य महाप्रभु का जो आंदोलन है, प्रभुपाद उसके सेनापति हैं। सेनापति उनके अकेले नहीं आए, अपनी सेना के साथ लेकर आए और हमारे गुरु महाराज जी प्रभुपाद जी की सेवा में विशेष सेनापति हैं। हम बहुत सौभाग्यशाली हैं कि हम इस्कॉन के सर्वश्रेष्ठ गुरु की सेवा में नियुक्त हुए हैं। हमारे इतने बड़े पद पर होते हुए भी छोटे से छोटे व्यक्ति का पूरा ध्यान रखते हैं, हर भक्त को पूरा आदर देते हैं। इतनी बड़ी आयु में भी भक्ति के कार्य में बहुत तल्लीनता से कार्य करते हैं। इस्कॉन के भक्त पूरे विश्व में बढ़ते चले जा रहे हैं। विश्व के कोने कोने में महाराज जी की शिष्य हैं। ऐसे परम पूज्य गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज जी, जिनकी साधना भक्ति सेवा समृद्धि अटूट है, ऐसे गुरुदेव की कृपा यदि हो जाए तो हमारी भ्रष्ट जीवन धन्य हो जाए। पूज्य महाराज जी, आज व्यास पूजा है। मैं गुरुदेव जी से यही प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि जिस प्रकार से आप अपने समनिष्ठ भाव से श्रील प्रभुपाद की सेवा करते जा रहे हैं, वैसे ही हम भी आपकी सेवा कर सके। मैं महाराज जी का बहुत आभारी हूँ और हृदयपूर्वक उनके चरणों में उनके अच्छे स्वास्थ्य और चिरायु की प्रार्थना करता हूँ। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhuji, Sarva Shakti Mataji.
Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you on this auspicious day of your Vyas Puja. I am very fortunate to have the opportunity to write to you on the auspicious day of your Vyas Puja day. I don't have enough words to glorify you, my Gurudev. How difficult it becomes to put that thought into words. You are my master, birth after birth. Still I am unable to glorify you each and every moment of my life. You teach us my example. You never lose a single moment to glorify your spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Anytime, anywhere credits you with the wonderful service you are doing, you attribute to the Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Guru Maharaj, you have made all arrangements not only for your disciples, but for all at last through your many ways of getting your association through your lectures, live internet, broadcasts, and never miss Mangla Aarti wherever you are traveling. In every activity of yours, you never fail to strengthen your commitment and to Sri Prabhupada and his ISKCON. In every way, you teach us the mode of becoming an internal disciple by displaying your unconditional pure love of Sri Prabhupada. Please, Guru Maharaj, instill of your heart a drop of that mood of your divine grace as you have for Sri Prabhupada. Since I have been initiated, I try to follow your instructions to the best extent. Gurudev, as you mentioned, preaching is the mood of spiritual master. I try our best to preach every chance I get. I have completely depended on your mercy only. By your mercy only, we can perform devotional service without any difficulties and can be success also. You, our most valuable guidance, has given us great courage and to manage a spiritual life. Your blessings are encouragement and given us great strength to render devotional service to serve the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by spreading the holy name and message of the Supreme Lord. Please accept our hearty gratitude by accepting and guiding us by taking us through the path of divine knowledge, Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for sending mercy for 79th disciples through our God brother, Dashatadas Prabhuji. He told us how you remember each and every disciple from all over the world with so much enthusiasm you have given us all the time. Last but not the least, your health is very important for a tender spiritual life. We beg the mercy of their lordships, Shishi Ada Gopinathji and Shishi Krishna Balaram to keep you best health for preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world. For now, we pray at the divine lotus feet to always have your shelter despite my internal shortfall. Thank you for being here when we need you. Thank you for always answering questions and clearing my doubts. Thank you for everything you gave us this year and always. We look forward to serve you more and more. Please bless us so that we can follow your instructions and become a worthy servant of yours. Please forgive me for any offense I might have committed in my attempt to glorify your divine personality. Your insufficient servant, Sarvashakti Kripadi Vidasi.
Thank you very much, Mataji and Rampriya Prabhuji. He'll read his offering now.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Today is very auspicious day. We are celebrating our Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja, 79th Vyas Puja. Guru Maharaj was born in 14th August 1944 in Naingeli. Okay. My dear Guru Maharaji, Dandavat Pranam, please accept my most humble obedience at your divine lotus feet. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Every year when I sit down to write this most auspicious gift of offering to Sri Guru Dev, I enter into a deep modification about the unlimitedly wonderful qualities you have that make you so dear to Sri Prabhupada and Sri Radha Gopinath ji. Seeing your transparency, commitment, and untiring determination to serve this mission of Sri Prabhupada makes me more and more submissive to your divine lotus feet. Dear Guru Maharaj Ji, on this most auspicious day of your Vyas Puja, kindly allow me to glorify a drop of these ocean-like qualities for my own glorifications. Guru Maharaj Ji, your enthusiasm to worship the deities and attend the morning Mangala Aarti is itself as example of how one should be anger to practice Krishna consciousness. Even sometimes you are not well. Even then, you always do Mangala Aarti wherever you are. Even you are not in wherever you go in the world. Morning Mangala Aarti, you always do that. Once I know that one day you told Charu Maharaj Ji that in night time 2 o'clock that Charu Maharaj Ji, I am not well today, I can't do Mangala Aarti. But if you see 4 o'clock, he was there to do Mangala Aarti. Guru Maharaj Ji, fire in ISKCON is your life, and serving Sri Prabhupada's mission is your last goal. Guru Maharaj Ji, you are fulfilling all the mission of Sri Prabhupada, such as distribute of books and building new temples. At present, you are building temples. At present, you are constructing 9 temples in the North India. And just now you completed 2 temples, one in Gurgaon and the other is Krishna Balram temple in Golok, Gurukul. Guru Maharaj Ji, your latest message to Dasharatha Priya Prabhu that when he meet you recently, you advised him to ask everybody to attend Sankirtan every day, every time, and also do the more devotional service in the temple. Guru Maharaj, Dasharatha Prabhu will tell you in details about this one. Maharaj Ji, you are constantly situated, fully absorbed in Guru Krishna and contemplatively on the instruction given by your spiritual master Sri Prabhupada Ji. Guru Maharaj Ji, even since I have taken shelter of your lotus feet, due to your causeless mercy, I do some little, very, very little service in the temple. Please bless me so that I can do some more devotional service. And Guru Maharaj Ji, your lotus feet are only my shelter. Please accept me, your internal servant, your insignificant servant, Ram Priyadas. Guru Maharaj Ji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, and Amit Prabhuji will read his offering next.
Prabhupadasya sahityam yad prakasya vitaryacha pracharam kartavnam sadhu bhagavad padayate namah. So I'm not very qualified, so today thank you so much Hari Chaitanya Das Prabhuji to inviting me. But he told me that I need to speak today also, so I quickly ran through some, and hopefully I will be to I'll do best for the time that I've been given. So I was just reading the Guru Maharaj offering to Prabhupada ji, and where he has compared the Lord Chaitanya instructing to Rupa Goswami ji to go and spread out the message of Krishna consciousness. And as we see, Prabhupada ji also has instructed the same to the Guru Maharaj. And as Prabhuji also mentioned that the number of temples he is building, and when I see him at 4:30 doing a Mangala Arati, and when I see myself waking at 7 o'clock, it just speaks me, how far and I am myself and where I need to go. So we're very fortunate to have a Guru, so yes, we do need to have teachers to teach us, and Guru Maharaj is very merciful the way he actually approached, and in the same letter he himself saying himself to a servant. So that mode is not with me. I can't really, very far, but I hope so that I will have some mercy from him, even though he's far, and we are very fortunate to have messengers now to follow him where he goes. Like currently he has been to the USA as well. Like Mataji also said about the Vancouver, and I think that's a very, when I was 30 nearby, I did see that interview, and it was so fantastic to see that, and it actually changed the meaning of a brainwash. When we actually used to see it as a brainwash, someone is saying spoiling that person, and when I saw Guru Maharaj lecture, it made me feel like he's actually cleaning the mind, so it's full of dust. And the way the media person was telling him that you're brainwashing, he basically ended up the message saying that you need to have a brainwash too, because a lot of dirt you have collected because of the media. So, and in the same interview he mentioned about that how the confused society is, and he mentioned about the more you get educated and the more you become confused, and it's happening. There are a lot of problems happening because people are turning to more educated. What kind of education they're getting is the more important thing, and that's what he actually referred at that time. So, and at that time we do talk about, I'm from IT background, so we do talk and we do things with the stats. And at that time we actually use the stats to prove that there's a crime going on, and I'm helping you, because there was a big concerns that they're actually taking over the young kids and making them not to follow the 4 regulatory principles. And he came back and said, hey, we should not be following those 4 regulatory principles. So the media person did not have an answer for that, because all those 4 regulatory principles has to be followed by anyone regardless. So, and it's interestingly that how he actually controlled that platform by saying that you should use the media for the Krishna service. I think you're doing something wrong. And once again, he also asked, the media person that, these kids that you have actually brought, they look very sad. And so he asked kids directly that, do you laugh? Do you smile? And the answer was that they laugh at 4:30 when you're sleeping. So that tells that how nicely he articulated the material mind that we have, like myself. And that was the first incident without knowing his name. And then I used to follow Amok Leela Prabhuji, as many may know. Then Hari Chaitanya Das Prabhuji, I used to send him, and he said, do you know whose Guru is? And there is a very normal say that, Jaisa Guru, Vaisa Chela. And I said, I don't know. So then he actually told there is actually this, this Guru Maharaj, and they said, oh, but then still I could not link it back to that video. But then I realized that after knowing that based on the age factor, he's the same person. So it's a coincidence, and it's a very fortunate to have it. And Harish Ritandas Prabhuji was very humble to give me some services that actually through which I actually get to know more. And I'm really looking forward for following his principles that he's following as set by the Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Amit Prabhuji. So Amit Prabhuji is aspiring to become His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami disciple, and he might get initiation soon. So let's please give blessings to him, because it's his first Vyas Puja, right? First Vyas Puja offering. So, and next will be Keshav Prabhuji, and he's also aspiring disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So please let's give your blessings to Prabhuji as well, because he is supposed to get initiation soon as well. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. So both of devotees are devotees from Vamana Kshetra Yatra, and they perform many services in south part of Sydney, and we are very happy that they would like to follow.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki. I'm actually known as a very tiny servant to actually offer anything, seva or Vyas to Maharaj. They actually the Vancouver, I think that's the hit list today looks like. So actually that's really inspiring to every single individual, whoever just watched that. Nothing more to say on that one, but that was really, that actually gives you your thought process to think twice or thrice what exactly, I mean, how provoking it was actually, how well he actually handled the Prabhuji Maharaj actually handled the questions. And especially that he was just even blaming that we are just just taking money out from the street, we were just walking from the street. So that was really insulting, and how actually nicely he defended and just give back to that particular journalist. Once Prabhupada, actually Srila Prabhupada said, ISKCON is my body. Bhakti, book trust is my heart, and money is my blood. So he gave actually heart to Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada actually gave his heart, because he said Bhakti, book trust is my heart, and he actually solely making responsible for the Bhakti book trust. So that's the biggest thing we can think of, how close he was to Prabhupada, and definitely Krishna Lotus feet as well. Other than that, I mean, Mataji actually nicely told, and Prabhuji actually mentioned my actually sincere prayer for today is actually his health. Everyone is within, he's already on 7, 9 or something, and I sincerely and respectfully pray for his good health. That is my offering for today, and as Mataji mentioned, and we actually I offer my actually respectful obeisances to Maharaj on this actually the auspicious day for him, and actually I look forward to be blessed on and actually would like to be one of the disciples, and maybe can help can help his servants. I'm a very, very, very tiny servant. So I would like to serve his servants actually in a very thoughtful way. Thank you very much, Madam.
Hari Bol. So Hari Chaitanya Prabhuji will read his offering next.
Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna, dear Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you. I am your very fallen servant from Sydney, Australia. I would like to congratulate you on the 79th Vyas Puja. I am so pleased to write this offering to you at your lotus feet. Every year, we wait for this auspicious day so that your disciples in Sydney can gather and glorify you together. We always feel so humbled and insignificant when we see you giving class, worshipping deities every single day in your life. Wherever you are, doesn't matter. If you are in a heavy city like New York or Eternal Dham in Vrindavan, you always do Mangalarti without fail. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Shri Vigrahara Dhananityanana Shringarata Mandira Marjanaya Yuktasya Bhaktam Chaniyanjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. The spiritual master is always engaged in the temple worship of Shri Radha and Krishna. He also engages his disciples in service. They dress the deities in the beautiful clothes and ornaments, clean their temple, and perform other similar worships of the Lord. I offer my respectful obeisances onto the lotus feet of such spiritual master. Unflinchingly, after your early morning sadhana, Mangalarti, which you perform every day, you vigorously worship your deities and Srila Prabhupada. This shows how dedicated you are to Srila Prabhupada and his instructions to follow morning program. You are uncompromising in following the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. I feel completely safe and protected after receiving shelter of your lotus feet. Every time I have seen you, you have surcharged me with Krishna Bhakti. Just having your darshan, I feel purified of all sins. You are one of the most exemplary leaders in ISKCON. Your qualities are next to none. You have distributed more books and prasadam plates than anyone in the entire history of ISKCON. What to speak of building enormous temples day after day. In a city like Delhi, you have instructed 14 temples already. Srila Prabhupada once asked you to build one temple in Delhi, and then Prabhupada corrected himself and said, Delhi is such a big city that there should be 10 temples. And you are already on the route for making 14 temples there. We are mesmerized on how you take care of us while we were in India. In Vedic context, a disciple should take care of Guru. However, you took care of us like your own children when we saw you in India. With your blessings, we are distributing Srila Prabhupada books in Sydney. Recently, we went to a Slavic language program. I thought it would be very tough to distribute Srila Prabhupada books there. We were struggling to distribute even a single copy. However, as soon as I chanted your pranam mantra and I remembered you, in a flash, all Russian books were sold. This is your potency, Srila Gurudev. Hopefully, if you allow us to come to Vrindavan this Kartik, we would like to get Brahman initiation from you. Later this year, we are planning to join Srila Prabhupada Book Distribution Marathon in Sydney. Also, we are planning to have a new Bhakti Vriksha group for Western devotees who we have cultivated while distributing books. I am begging you for your mercy to be an instrument of any service at your lotus feet. Please bless us and allow us to serve you unconditionally. Your eternal servant, Hari Chaitanya Das. I'd like my wife to read out next offerings for Srila Gurudev. Phones on silent, please, if it's okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj. I'm very blessed to be in Sydney and offer you my small Vyasa Puja offering. First time in this city because during long years it was overseas in Russia where I first time met you and where you installed the very beautiful deities, Sri Nitaya Sundaram. And in this auspicious day, so many beautiful words disciple mentioned about you. And I would like to share some stories from overseas, from Russia and from Ukraine and from other countries, because due to your service, Srila Prabhupada came there, and he got a visa to Russia and to Moscow when it used to be a communist country, and it was extremely difficult. And Srila Prabhupada asked you to go there, and you did. And you went to Moscow and you arranged visa for some Indian saints. You did not mention that he is a spiritual master, because otherwise Srila Prabhupada would never get visa in a communist country. And you helped him to come to Russia for 4 days, and that time was enough to spread Krishna consciousness there. And now there are a lot of ISKCON temples and centers and devotees, and you are GBC in many countries for long years, including many communist countries like Russia, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, and many other countries. And because of your unconditional mercy and because of your faith in Srila Prabhupada, a lot of books were printed there, and first books were printed even illegally, because government did not allow to print the books, and devotees printed it in backyards and in their own homes, and like they tried to hide it from government. And when you visited first time some of such house where books printed, you touch the print machine, and then you physically put like you put it on your head and said that machine helps to distribute Srila Prabhupada books in that communist countries, and you even offer your obeisances for that machine which illegally printed Srila Prabhupada books. So that is your mood, and that is your mercy that you show to us, to your disciples. And I would like to mention some of your beautiful qualities which you show to us, to your disciples. So you are very practical, and you are a perfect manager, and you run actually a lot of temples all over the world. But on the same time, you are very, very personal, and you always have time for darshan for your disciples and even non-disciples. Whoever would like to come and share something with you, your doors of your room always open. And it's really inscrutable, because I used to travel, I got that mercy, and I used to travel with your senior devotees in Russia a few times during your preaching tour, and no one can follow your schedule, because till the middle of the night you gave darshans and you went to sleep around 12 o'clock or even 1 o'clock, and 4 a.m. you already was in the altar, and no one understood when do you sleep, because it's literally like 3-4 hours per day. And we, like that time you was around 70 years old, and all your disciples was much younger, and all of us was very tired, but you were full of determination to go to the next city and distribute books and distribute a glorification of Srila Prabhupada and preach more and more. So, and it's literally like a transcendental process, because no one can follow that high standard of living. No one can dedicate their body completely in service like you do. I remember how we performed Govardhan Parikrama around Govardhan in Vrindavan, and it's long parikrama. It's around 7 hours. It's 24 4 kilometers. That time you were already 72, 73 years old, and you went so far that no one can follow you. And after 2-3 hours, your disciples, we were 2 or 3 times younger than you, we were tired, and you said, no, chalo, quick, we have no time, we should do it quickly, please go. And you were like senior soldier in Sri Lanka Prabhupada army, whom by his own example shows how we should be involved in that mission. And everything what you preach, you show by your own example. And on the one hand, you know many celebrities, you know many prime ministers. For example, recently you met even with Indian Prime Minister, with Narendra Modi personally. But on the other hand, you always have time to talk with your disciples and ask about how life is going, how do you manage your responsibilities, how is your health, how is family. And it's also very interesting. And you always teach us in your classes, in your lectures, that there are 2 types of service to spiritual master, like Vapu and Vani. And when we don't have opportunity to be involved in personal service to spiritual master body like Vapu, the service to instructions, Vani, is even more important. And when we perform our service far away from spiritual master, but we do it sincerely, spiritual master always knows it. How? We are Paramatma. And you show that incredible example of that instructions recently, because when I moved to Australia, I did not see you last 4 years, and before I used to meet with you 2-3 times per year in Russia, India, and around, but Australia is so far away. And once I just shared that with you in my morning japa. I just said to you, like, Guru Maharaj, I really miss you because I didn't see you long time, and I don't have opportunity to be involved in personal service to you. And after 1 week, your disciple from Melbourne called me and asked, Mataji, how are you? I met Guru Maharaj in Vrindavan, and he asked about you and your husband. And that time I was not in touch with that Mataji, and that Mataji said, I don't know like how Madhusudni Radha is living, and your Guru Maharaj said here there is one my Russian disciple, she lives in Sydney, and she and her husband Hari Chaitanya Prabhu, they live in Sydney, so please call her and ask how everything is going on, how is her spiritual practice and service. And when she called me after 1 week, I was so surprised, because by that example you just show that when your disciples, when devotees sincerely involved in the service, there is no problem in destination. You hear about that service maybe while you're Paramatma, but somehow you know that. And you mentioned that many times in your classes that actually you hear every Gayatri, each Gayatri mantra when disciple offers to you, and even each sound of the bell when disciple is offering some bhoga to you. So, and in this auspicious day of in your appearance day, I just would like to thank you for your mercy and for your care, and that you are truly example of all instructions which you are giving to your disciples. Thank you.
Now I'd like to ask Darshan Prabhu to come and offer. In the meantime, guys, don't let that door open, Prabhu. Just close that door. And everyone please move this side. If you can, squeeze in towards here. We're locking this door. So please move in. Move forward. Keep coming. Squeeze in. There's plenty of space here. There are a lot of people there who just take darshan and go. They may not attend the whole program. Maybe just put some. So after this offering, we'll be turning our backs here and we'll be reading from the PowerPoint presentation which is up there. So that should be whenever you're ready. Thank you. There's no space at the back.
Hare Krishna Srila Gurudev. Please accept my prostrate obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I know I am not qualified to prepare this Vyasa Puja offering, still I am trying to do it as it is customary on this auspicious occasion. Srila Prabhupada was admired as, quote, he built a house in which the whole world can live, unquote. That means it is a house open to any living being who is a spiritual seeker and really wants to find the essence in life. It is a house of profound spiritual consciousness and all the activities are centered around Supreme Person which creates and sustains the spirituality of the practitioner. Srila Gurudev, you are serving tirelessly day and night to please your spiritual master Srila Prabhupada by printing and distributing Srila Prabhupada's book in different languages so that the fallen souls can get Srila Prabhupada's compassionate teachings. You are also managing different new projects, temple projects, that is additional room to Srila Prabhupada's existing house which will accommodate more devotees to progress in their bhakti and get protection from Maya as our congregation is ever expanding. Your exemplary service attitude to the Lord, to Srila Prabhupada, to your God brothers and sisters, to different dignitaries of the society, to the devotees and non-devotees, are teaching us to imbibe those service attitude while serving in different capacity to maintain the standard set by Srila Prabhupada. And I want to say something about my recent visit to India and where I got an opportunity to have personal darshan of Srila Gurudev. And actually there was no plan, okay, and when I called the personal secretary and he said that, okay, you can come and meet Gurudev, he is in Delhi. So it is around 7 o'clock, 7:30, and when I met Guru Maharaj, and he said just wait because there is some family was there and having the son over there, and after that he introduced to other disciples by telling that he is a very old disciples, okay, and when did you come, where you are staying and whether you have taken your food or not, and he inquired about everything. I said I am okay, I am staying with my sister, and he asked about all the disciples in Australia, and he also asked there are how many disciples in Sydney. I said around 7 or 8, and Guru Maharaj said no, I have got 31 disciples in Australia. He knows each and every one, okay, and so, and after that also he said, okay, you come tomorrow, I want to take you to some program. The next day also, I reached the temple and I was waiting there, and he asked his servant to find out that whether I have taken prasadam or not, and he said, oh, we'll be traveling in the evening, okay, instead of the morning. So I came at around 2 o'clock and Guru Maharaj was having prasadam. He said, okay, give him prasadam. I said, Guru Maharaj, I have taken prasadam. Actually, I had not taken anything. So he said, no, he should sit in front of me and have prasadam. He is that caring. And after that also, when I was about to finish and clean my plate, Guru Maharaj's personal servant, they said, okay, you come this way, but Guru Maharaj said, let him go to my bathroom, okay, and wash. Okay, so initially I was not aware of all these things, why all these things Guru Maharaj is telling, okay, I will just narrate that thing because subsequently I realized what Guru Maharaj is telling me, it has got a deeper meaning. So afternoon also we traveled near about 1 hour to one of the function in Ghaziabad. It was the Snana Purnima where Lord Jagannath has to take bath. It is Lord Jagannath's birthday, and Guru Maharaj explained on our way to that temple. Near about 5,000 people invited, okay, there when Guru Maharaj arrived there. But before going from Delhi temple and from his level 2 room, he went down by a small lift. It can accommodate only 2 people. So because of his health conditions, they have installed one lift. So Guru Maharaj used that thing along with his servant, and I just followed the staircase. And after that, after 1 hour, when we arrived at the other temple, there near about 5,000 devotees, they received Guru Maharaj. I was just following, but with his fragile health, and he climbed all the 4-storied, okay. The disciple took him to the 4-storied, but there is no lift over there. But he used the staircase to reach the 4th floor, and immediately he changed his clothes and he came to the ground floor to do the Abhishek. And after doing the Abhishek, again he went to the 4th floor through that staircase. And all of a sudden, one of his disciples, he said, okay, Guru Maharaj is calling you. I said, how come so many people are visiting and it's so busy and all these things, and how come he is remembering me and calling me? So I entered his room, he was alone and he was just reading some books. And he said, okay, and where is your bag? Why you did not bring your bag? You are supposed to stay with me tonight. So, and I said, sorry Guru Maharaj, I could not bring. Okay, tomorrow morning I will come. And Guru Maharaj said, okay, don't go now. I will be giving lecture, and after that you listen that thing and go prasad. So, whenever it is any service, he is not going to bother about his health. That is why his personal secretary is telling that Guru Maharaj health is very good. I said, how come Guru Maharaj health is good? When he was in the hospital, one of his disciples, Ajay Gauranga Prabhu, told like that. But subsequently when he explained that thing, that means that he will not spare a single moment not doing any devotional service. Whatever way he is going to use his body for any sort of service, he will not take rest. That is how he is very particular about all the services. And so that is how he is very caring, and he is teaching us that, okay, you have taken the initiation for a long period, okay, that way you are a senior disciple, but you are not doing the services what you are supposed to do, that is the teachings. And he is taking care of my personal things like where I am staying and whether I have taken prasadam or not and all these things. And that shows that we have to take care of whether any devotees or non-devotee with that attitude. So our attitude should be like that. So he will treat the disciple like this, and one will be very embarrassed, as if he is not the Guru Maharaj, he is the servant of the disciple. That kind of way Guru Maharaj is going to treat all these things, because he is trying to teach us that our standards should be like that. And about the different temples Guru Maharaj has constructed, managing the construction near about 17 temples in Gurgaon and Delhi. Okay, and the very purpose of taking all this initiative is to please Srila Prabhupada, because in one of his lectures he said that when Prabhupada was very old and he was in Radha Damodar temple, and he used to take tanga, that is the horse cart, to go to from Vrindavan to Mathura, and from Mathura he will take a train in third class and he will go to Delhi, and he will also look after the printings and distribution and the hot summer and all these things. Okay, so he has realized that my Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, wanted to preach in Delhi, so all the Delhi, each and every house should have Srila Prabhupada's books, and everybody should get opportunity to be Krishna consciousness. So with that mode he is trying to do that thing. It is not constructing multiple temples and all these things, but it is managed in such a nice way, and personally he is exemplifying how to cooperate with each other, okay, for Srila Prabhupada's pleasure and all these things. So I just wanted to say like that, and I often get questions that, okay, where is your Guru Maharaj? When did you talk to him and all these things? But Guru Maharaj is so merciful. He is always with us, okay. And whenever we get any devotional service, or whenever we come across with any devotees, any Maharaj, and whatever we hear and whatever we observe, it aligned with his instruction, what he has given us. So that is how we are remembering Guru Maharaj with his instructions, and that is also motivating us, and that is also guiding us, and wherever we are trying to do. And he gave a very strong instruction. He said, you should take more services in the temple, and other disciples also, they should take up more services in the temple, and always follow what the temple authority is telling. Okay, it is as good as my instruction and as good as you are serving me. With that attitude, you always try to follow what the temple authority is telling. And he is so merciful, and because of that, okay, we are also getting some opportunity. I am talking about myself, okay, to have the exemplary devotees of Sri Radha Gopinath temple, to see how they are dedicating their life for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Radha Gopinath. It is giving inspiration, and it is also helping me to take little baby steps to do little more, but I have to do more services, and hopefully I will do that thing. Please bless me so that I can do that thing. I pray at the lotus feet of Sri Radha Gopinath for your good health, Guru Maharaj. Srila Gurudev, your instructions are your causeless mercy to me, and your lotus feet are my only center. Please let me be your servant eternally, your insignificant servant, the Supriya Das. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Vyas Puja Mahotsav ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Can you read something from this? So guys, we have presentation now, and we have to understand the importance of Guru, why Guru Puja is important. You know, we can flip our backs towards the altar, that's okay. But even if you don't, that's okay, because when Guru is present, you can pay your attention to Guru deities also, that's allowed. But for now, switch it there as we're going to be presenting from the screen. And for first slide, I'll get Achyuta Prabhu to come and Achyut Keshav Prabhu to come and just read out the slide, if it's okay, Prabhu. Oh, you don't have glasses? Who else wanted to? Any volunteers? Prabhu? You want to read? Or you need glasses? Yeah? Yeah? Can you say it from the presentation there? Or you can read from the screen, laptop there. The laptop is over there. I'll hand you the mic over.
Hare Krishna. Meaning of Vyas Puja. The term Vyasa Puja has two principal meanings, the grammatical and the internal, or the objective and the subjective. The former is the dictionary meaning, the latter is how it affects us within. Arguably, the internal meaning is more important than the grammatical dictionary meaning. Objectively, the dictionary meaning of Vyasa Puja can be understood as the worship of Vyasa. We call the appearance day of the spiritual master Vyasa Puja because on that day we worship the spiritual master as the representative of Srila Vyasa Deva. Subjectively, internally, Vyasa Puja means the celebration by the disciple of salvation at the lotus feet of the spiritual master. For the disciple, it evokes a sense of inadequacy, humility, and rededication to the mission of the spiritual master. It kindles the fire of love and spiritual reminiscence. Invariably, it is accompanied by a reunion of friends, God brothers, and God sisters, and together there comes a spirit of self-appraisal and critical awareness. Vyasa Puja means intense. For me, it is a day for feeling separation and union at the same time. It means feeling happiness, yet feeling sadness. It means feeling the swells of emotion rising from the ocean of separation, yet knowing the spiritual master remains with us forever. For the followers of Srila Prabhupada, Vyasa Puja has yet a third meaning. Devotees are not ordinary people, and Srila Prabhupada was not ordinary among devotees. He was and remains the Lord's topmost devotee who united people around the world under the common banner of ISKCON and Krishna consciousness. He accomplished what no one before or since has matched. Go on? Yeah. Prabhupada was a pure Mahabhagavata devotee, specifically empowered by Lord Chaitanya and by his spiritual master Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. To spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, he started from scratch and built an empire by making non-devotees into devotees. Indeed, that is the real test of the Mahabhagavata devotee. As Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 16.74, one should judge by action, not by promises. A Mahabhagavata can turn a living entity from abominable material life to the Lord's service. This is a test of Mahabhagavata. For these reasons and many others, we accept Srila Prabhupada as the topmost devotee of the Lord and his appearance day of Vyasa Puja as the topmost of all pujas. Because Srila Prabhupada is the founder of the modern Krishna consciousness movement in the West, and because he has saved us from the clutches of Maya or illusion through his personal association, his books and dedicated followers, Vyasa Puja carries with it this third being, the celebration of being specifically connected to such a great soul. In other words, for devotees of Krishna, Vyasa Puja is much more than an official celebration. It also means a feeling of love and rededication to the mission of the spiritual master. And for the followers of Srila Prabhupada, it means specifically to humbly feel oneself connected to him and to rededicate oneself this mission. I hope you will enjoy this year's Vyasa Puja book, and I hope you will imbibe from it some of the internal reasons why we call Vyasa Puja the most blessed event. His Holiness Vipramukhya Swami, excerpt from SP Vyasa Puja book 2001. Wow.
Hare Krishna. Now I'd like Divya Mataji to present a few slides about Maharaj, Maharaj's early life, how he met Srila Prabhupada. No. Please hand it over.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. How about His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj? His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is the first Indian disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He was initiated soon after the establishment of ISKCON. Currently, Maharaja is the chairman and trustee of the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, which is the largest publisher and distributor of Vedic literature all over the world. He is also the trustee of the Food Relief Foundation, a member of the Governing Body Commission and the Governing Body Commissioner of Mumbai, Northern India, that includes New Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Vrindavana, Chandigarh, Rajasthan, Kanpur, Kenya, Canada, and parts of America, and many parts of Russia and the Commonwealth of Independent States, Burma, Pakistan, the GBC of Manipur and Mayapur, and the ISKCON Bureau Chairman. He is a member of the Mayapur Administrative Committee, MAC, and the Vrindavana Executive Board, VEB. Srila Prabhupada instructed his disciples to consider Vrindavana as his home, Mayapur as his temple, and Mumbai as his office. By undertaking to serve Srila Prabhupada in these three temples, Maharaja is pleasing Srila Prabhupada in three different moods. His mood of intimate service at his home in Vrindavana, his mood of meditation at his temple in Mayapur, and the mood of preaching at his office in Mumbai. Someone can zoom it in a way, like scrolling here. Sorry for the inconvenience. A glimpse into the life of His Holiness Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaja, the early years 1944 to 1947. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami, name and appearance Gopal Krishna Kanna, appeared in this world on the most auspicious day of Ananta Ekadasi on August 14, 1944 in New Delhi, in the family of a military commander of the Indian fleet. Having graduated with distinction from Delhi University, he went to Europe where he studied management at Sorbonne University of Paris on a scholarship from the French government. He also obtained a master's degree in business administration from the McGill University at Montreal, and after that worked in the market research department of Pepsi Cola and with the pharmaceutical company Bristol Myers. The spiritual path of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami started in late 1967 when he began to visit churches, temples, gurudwaras and various spiritual communities regularly. Coming to a new place of religious worship on Sunday morning, he usually remained there for all day and took part in spiritual practices. Meeting devotees of Krishna and then Srila Prabhupada that happened in 1968. On the 31st of May 1968, Gopal Krishna Goswami visited the Hare Krishna temple in Montreal for the first time. He was invited by the temple president Mahapursha Das, who also informed him that the founder Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace His Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, shall be arriving in Montreal on June 1st, 1968. When His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj inquired if he could render some service, Mahapursha asked him to clean Srila Prabhupada's apartment. Prabhu, that's the next page because actually I want to go to the first. Yeah. I was fortunate to receive this as my first assignment in devotional service, Maharaja said. He cleaned the doors, shelves and windows of Srila Prabhupada's apartment. In this way, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj's service attitude for Srila Prabhupada manifested even before he actually met him. At that time, there were only 4 temples of Krishna consciousness in the world, 3 in the USA, in New York, San Francisco and Los Angeles, and 1 in Canada, Montreal. That is why Srila Prabhupada, while preaching and traveling to different temples, stayed for a long time, sometimes weeks and even months in each of the temples. Srila Prabhupada had decided to stay in Montreal temple for 3 months. Preaching Gaudiya Vaishnavism in the West, Srila Prabhupada always treated his countrymen favorably. Gopal Krishna Goswami, however, distinguished himself from other Indians who usually came to Srila Prabhupada. Usually, the purpose of their arrival and receiving darshans or blessings from an Indian sadhu. Having offered their respectful obeisances and having listened to lectures for several minutes, they left. Gopal Krishna Goswami, on the contrary, came to attend lectures regularly and left only after their completion. He remembers, my only small qualification was that I was very respectful to Srila Prabhupada. From the first day I saw him, and I would stay for his lectures till the end and leave only after he had left the temple. After several weeks of personal contact with Srila Prabhupada, Maharaja decided to become his disciple and to accept Gaudiya Vaishnavism, receiving spiritual initiation and the initial years to Krishna consciousness that happened between 1969 to 1974. After Srila Prabhupada left Montreal and went to other temples in ISKCON for preaching, active correspondence began between him and Gopal Krishna. They exchanged letters about 3 times a month. On the 27th of May 1969, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was initiated by Srila Prabhupada at the age of 24 years. Srila Prabhupada decided not to give him a new name as it usually done in such cases. He wrote, as your name is already Gopal Krishna, there is no need for changing it. You will now be known as Gopal Krishna Dasa. Till 1975, he continued to work in Bristol Myers Company, rendering financial help to Canadian temples of ISKCON. During several years, he also carried out duties as personal security to Srila Prabhupada, preaching in India and Soviet Union 1975 to 1980. In 1975, Srila Prabhupada sent Gopal Krishna Maharaj to India and appointed him as a member of the Governing Body Commission of India, that is GBC. His duties in 1975 to 76 included monitoring the activities of the Krishna conscious movement in India and Southeast Asia except for Japan, Philippines and Indonesia. In particular, Maharaja headed the ISKCON projects in Mumbai, Delhi, Gujarat, Hyderabad, Madras and Kanpur. In 1976, he was appointed the trustee of Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust, now the world's leading spiritual publishing house, and he continued to supervise ISKCON activities in India. He headed the Indian branch of the Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust and started supervising the publication of Vaishnava literature in Indian languages. He recollects that Srila Prabhupada wanted very much that many books be published in India. Within these 2 years, he constantly pressed me for printing more and more books. Srila Prabhupada was anxious that book printing in India should expand. He started his translating and publishing activities with the publication in Hindi of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam with Srila Prabhupada's purpose. Srila Prabhupada was especially happy when I had brought to him the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in Hindi. He recollects, Srila Prabhupada constantly inspired him to apply his talent in marketing for a wider distribution of Vaishnava religious literature. In one of his letters, Srila Prabhupada wrote, "Now you can use your knowledge of marketing for the service to Krishna." This is the highest perfection of education. In March 1976, Srila Prabhupada entrusted him to preach in the USSR. In 1976 and 77, he wanted the Soviet Union several times as a representative of the publishing house Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust, having presented Srila Prabhupada's book to the Soviet libraries. In 1977, he took part in the Moscow International Book Fair, and as a representative of BBT, he received an honorable diploma from the organizers of this exhibition. Srila Prabhupada was very happy to receive this diploma. He showed it with pride to everyone who visited him and said that his books were appreciated even in Russia. In 1977, March 1977, Maharaja became one of the members of the Mayapur Development Committee, and his duties included the monitoring of the temple and the ISKCON headquarters building in Mayapur. During the following years, he played a key role in the establishment in India of the ISKCON honorary membership program, which got many rich Hindus involved in the Krishna consciousness movement. Big temples and Vedic cultural centers in Bombay and Vrindavana were constructed in the 1970s, and he had a significant role in both. Acceptance of the sannyas order. In 1981, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj took the sannyasa order. A year later, on 27th February 1982, on the auspicious day of Gaura Purnima, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj became a Diksha Guru, an initiating spiritual master in ISKCON. Spiritual messenger of Lord Chaitanya. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, being an empowered representative of Lord Sri Chaitanya, is engaged tirelessly in distributing Lord Gauranga's mercy and is one of the most important spiritual preceptors fully devoted to fulfilling Lord Gauranga's prophecy that my name will be chanted in every village and town of the world. Under his able guidance, ISKCON is in the process of acquiring the Radhakrishna temple at Chippiwada Chandani Chowk, Old Delhi, where Srila Prabhupada used to translate the early volumes of his magnum opus Srimad Bhagavatam before traveling to the west. Recently, the Sri Radha Vrindavana Chandra temple and the new Vedic Cultural Center in Pune was inaugurated by His Excellency Sri Pranab Mukherjee, the President of India, in February 2013 on the most auspicious day of Sri Nityananda Prabhu's appearance. Sri Mukherjee spoke about the importance of ISKCON's activities and Srila Prabhupada's achievements. Besides attracting thousands of national and international tourists and devotees, all these temples are serving as medium for spreading the divine message of Bhagavad Gita. As it is spoken by the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna about 5,000 years back, as also other Vedic literatures, they are playing a leading role in college preaching, corporate preaching in institutions like the Indian Institute of Technology (IIT), Engineering College, and many other management institutes inspiring students, philosophers, academicians, politicians, intellectuals, and even hardcore atheists. Some of these temples have stood first in ISKCON worldwide in the distribution of Vedic literatures. In fact, the top 10 temples of the world, 5 fall within Maharaja's preaching zones, with Delhi having been the #1 in the world for the 7 years straight, in the last 7 years straight. At present, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is the GBC for Mumbai, Gujarat, Northern India, that includes New Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Vrindavana, Chandigarh and Rajasthan, Mayapur, Kenya, Canada and some states of America and many parts of the former Commonwealth of Independent States. Also, His Holiness has been serving extensively in BBT as the chairman and trustee. In India, arranging for the translation of Srila Prabhupada's book into various regional languages and their distribution far and wide. He continues to encourage BBT book distribution in his zones, especially in India. Inspired by Srila Prabhupada's instruction to his disciples in 1974 that no one within 10 miles radius of the ISKCON temple should go hungry. I want you to immediately begin serving food. ISKCON centers distribute sumptuous Krishna Prasadam on a daily basis and festivals. Besides, many ISKCON centers such as in Mumbai and Delhi are actively participating in the midday meal program of the government as a medium to distribute Krishna Prasadam. ISKCON Delhi midday meal program is at the moment serving a staggering 450,000 meals every day, feeding the hungry children of Delhi, Noida, Faridabad and Kurukshetra. Very soon, adjoining areas and cities would be covered under that scheme. The United Nations World Food Programme has appreciated this noble program and has agreed to provide technical assistance. The Government of India also acknowledges these noble efforts and state governments all around want to expand this project to other cities of their respective states. In India, Maharaja periodically appears on TV, radio and at press. He regularly lectures to a variety of audience members of the chambers of commerce in Mumbai, students of leading Indian universities, Indian scientists and politicians. He also takes part in interreligious dialogue and regularly lectures on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam in ISKCON temples worldwide. Congregational participation is being encouraged in all spheres and various goals are being set and met. In the CIS, His Holiness has had phenomenal success. Buildings have been acquired, book distribution is growing rapidly, Food for Life programs have been introduced, weekly seminars are being conducted, restaurants are being developed, regular preaching programs are being conducted in schools and colleges and people are becoming favorable to the movement. Thus, Lord Krishna's mercy is being distributed everywhere. Thus, Maharaja's key achievements in the service of Srila Prabhupada, besides temple construction and food distribution worldwide, include youth cultivation programs, house programs in every corner of the world, and overseeing the translation, printing, publishing, and distribution of Srila Prabhupada's book. Under his expert supervision, the distribution of books has grown to the highest limits in the history of ISKCON. Maharaja personally visits different temples in his zone before the marathon to inspire everyone to distribute books. Srila Prabhupada always admired his qualities of the head and heart, and he once remarked, Gopal is a very nice boy and he must be encouraged. Many visitors point out that even hardcore atheists are attracted to his graceful simplicity. Every encounter, every gesture and every answer brings out the inner conviction he has in the mission he has embraced. All the spiritual activities are a mere glimpse of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Deep commitment and surrender to Srila Prabhupada. His untiring, dedicated efforts, his selfless, compassionate nature and the inner conviction to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu globally.
Go on, next slide, bro. Okay, keep going. Keep going. One more. Like to understand that books are the basis in our movement. So, Ishwar Prabhu, would you like to express your thoughts on books or We've made a small presentation, but I think we are running over time. But if you want to express, we're happy to. Your experience on the book's distribution.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think I guess most devotees here have experienced reading Srila Prabhupada's books and have thus seen that it's not at all ordinary literature. It's apart from the amazing philosophy, the only philosophy which really fully explains who we are, who the Supreme Lord is, how why the world exists, and all of the essential questions of life, completely contrary to all the useless information that we are bombarded with, especially nowadays world, being out there, including our mundane education and everything, which was touched already on before. So apart from the philosophy, we know that reading Srila Prabhupada's books gives us direct association with, first of all, Srila Prabhupada himself, who is, as we know, the completely pure devotee of the Lord, sent here from the spiritual world to save us fallen souls, and of course also association with Krishna himself and so many other devotees in like Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita and so forth. And so we know that it is so immeasurably important to read Srila Prabhupada's books regularly, to be in that association, to become purified, become inspired more and more, to engage in practical services, to engage in hearing and chanting and all the practice of Krishna consciousness. So therefore we know that anyone who somehow or other, in whatever little way, contributes to not only reading but also distributing and or even publishing, translating and all of that in any kind of work associated with Srila Prabhupada's books, we know those devotees are especially dear to Srila Prabhupada, and so we can, as we already heard a lot today, can only imagine how dear His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj must be to Srila Prabhupada just by that service, what to speak of all the other services. So, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
So we're going to now read the offerings from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj's God brothers, the Srila Prabhupada's disciples, to Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I'd like to call Natasha Marketing to read offering from Prabhu. Can you please sit down? I don't want to pronounce the name wrong. Down. From Saturpadas Goswami Maharaj.
His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj is a great devotee of Srila Prabhupada and has served for many years in many projects. I served with Gopal Krishna Maharaj in the early years of the GBC, when the dealings were sometimes rough and abusive amongst devotees. Sometimes the devotees would try to play politics against Gopal Krishna Maharaj, but I noted that he was always protected. There was something like a shield around him, like a Narayana Kavacha, shield which nobody could penetrate and nobody could defeat him. I took this to be the personal protection of Prabhupada, of his loyal servant. Gopal Krishna Maharaj has done great service in Mumbai and the Juhu Beach project. He has lived through to see it developed into its present magnificent situation. He has preached widely in India and made many disciples. His crowning achievement was the Glory of India project on the hill in New Delhi, which he accomplished over many years and obstacles. He showed his great determination to work and build a magnificent project which Prabhupada is proud of. Not content with preaching in India, Gopal Krishna Maharaj went to Russia and created a great field there of preaching and accepting disciples. His reputation is stainless with no flaw. I look up to him and he has always been kind to me in his personal dealings with me. I regard him as a perfect gentleman and as a very advanced Vaishnava. Everyone should offer homage to him and appreciate his good qualities as a loyal servant of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Satsvarupa Dasa Goswami.
Thank you so much. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Ji ki. Is there anyone Bhakti Charu Maharaj's disciple present here? I'll get someone else to read. Gitesh Prabhu, do you want to read on behalf of Bhakti Charu Maharaj? So that's Bhakti Charu Maharaj's offering a couple of years before he passed from this material world.
Srila Prabhupada often used to lament that high-class Indians were not joining his movement. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was of the first-class Indians to join Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. Born into an aristocratic family as the son of commander in the Indian Navy, educated in one of the best universities of Europe, the Sorbonne, very handsome in appearance and successful in life as a company executive in multinational company in Canada. He had everything that one aspired for in this material world: Janma, Ashwarya, Shruta and Subha. But when he came in contact with Srila Prabhupada, he left everything and surrendered himself at his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada was naturally proud to have a disciple like him. His divine grace brought him to India and made him the GBC to lead his movement here. Since then, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj has been serving his divine grace with utmost sincerity and dedication, and due to that, success naturally came to him. Srila Prabhupada made him the GBC for two most important projects in India, Vrindavan and Bombay. Both the projects developed and beyond anyone's imaginations. In the recent past, we have seen what he has done in Delhi. 20 years back, when he had hardly anything there, now it had been blessed with 6 gorgeous temples, and many more are in the making. Sitting in the capital city of India, he is rendering an amazing service to our movement. Due to his wonderful relationship with government officials and ministers, problems of our society in different corners of the world are being solved with such efficiency. Hungary, Russia, and Kazakhstan, to name a few. Srila Prabhupada always emphasized on book distribution as most effective means of spreading our movement. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj has taken up that responsibility as his life and soul. Every year he is motivating thousands of devotees to distribute millions of books. Needless to say, his temples are winning the recognition as the top book distributor of the ISKCON world. His Grace Bhakti Charu Maharaj ki jai. His sadhana is immaculate. Every morning he is there at the altar worshipping their Lordship, no matter wherever he is. It is amazing that in spite of his body's busy schedule and weak health condition, he keeps on performing the Mangala Aarti without fail. Then he goes to worship his own deities with such loyalty. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Their Lordship, no matter wherever he is, it is amazing that in spite of his busy schedule and weak health condition, he keeps on performing the Mangala Aarti without fail. Then he goes to worship his own deities with such loyalty and love. He is undoubtedly one of the most exemplary devotees of our movement, not only because of his remarkable achievements but also for his exemplary behavior. He is so humble and tolerant in his dealing with everyone. In the beginning stage of ISKCON, when the young leaders of our movement often displayed a very passionate and aggressive mood, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj maintained a very humble and submissive attitude, displaying his very exalted spiritual position even in those early days. I feel very fortunate to have such a wonderful God brother and friend. Although I am much junior to him, he treats me with so much respect, which is indeed a display of his love. Since the time I joined, I had the good fortune of serving Srila Prabhupada with him in Vrindavan. I have personally witnessed the love and affection Srila Prabhupada showered upon him and how he expressed his pride at having such a wonderful disciple. I pray to Krishna that he allows these wonderful devotees to stay with us for many years to come and continue to spread his glory. The Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is meant to deliver this world, and in order to accomplish that glorious mission, there is a need for such brilliant devotee to lead this movement. I express my sincere gratitude to Srila Prabhupada for offering us such a wonderful God brother and a friend. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki.
Thank you, Prabhu. And I request Mother Gopal Prabhu to read out the Vyas Puja offerings from His Holiness Father Swami Maharaj to Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the opportunity. It is my great honor to have the opportunity to express my sincerest appreciations for His Holiness Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. In many ways, he is unparalleled in his devotional service to Srila Prabhupada. To say a few of these ways, Gopal Krishna Maharaj has established the largest project for book distribution in the history of ISKCON. He has inspired and overseen the building of several of our world's most magnificent temples. Maharaj has developed some of the largest congregations of sincere devotees. He has developed relationships with the many government officials as well as prominent citizens of India and has expertly engaged them in aiding several international emergency situations for our society. He has inspired ISKCON's largest midday meal outreach. Maharaja has remained dedicated to his service of the GBC and BBT since the time Srila Prabhupada personally appointed him. His sadhana is exemplary and his Vaishnava character is an inspiration for thousands. All of these monumental achievements and many more are expressions of his love for Srila Prabhupada and for Sri Sri Radha Rasa Bihari. I congratulate all of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj's follower for your good fortune. Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara are blessing all of you in a very special way. It is my great fortune that Maharaj considers my small self as his friend and God brother. I am always learning from Maharaj the true meaning of dedication. For this, Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, I am forever grateful to you. Your servant, Radhanath Swami. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Bro, we can turn the PowerPoint off. We are running over time. turn it off. And I'll get devotees to just slightly move over here. So facing Srila Prabhupada and His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj's photo. Pass the mic. Sorry, Hare Krishna. We had many more wonderful offerings from his God brothers, but due to lack of time, still unfortunately in material world, where time does exist, we'll skip it because it's already 5:30. There's a Sunday fish will go as well. But I'd like His Grace Ganesham Prabhu to offer a few words, as well as Ganesham Prabhu will offer offerings from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj to Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhu, if you can offer a few words, and then I'll give you the offerings.
Hare Krishna. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Vyasa Puja Mahamahotsav Ki Jai. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Iti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. This is indeed a festival week. Celebrations never stop. I was once hearing the glorification of one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples who glorified Prabhupada in a very unique way. He was saying, Srila Prabhupada appeared on the day after Janmashtami. Actually, he could have appeared on the same day as Janmashtami. But as a mark of respect, he waited until Krishna appeared. And then he appeared next day. The first time I came to know about Gopal Krishna Maharaj's appearance day, it is the Ekadasi after Janmashtami, easy to remember. It's just one more day after Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja. I was thinking, Maharaj, out of his respect to Srila Prabhupada, he skipped 2 days. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's given Sanatana Goswami, once when he was glorifying Haridas Thakur, he said, "Oh dear Haridas, in this world there are a lot of devotees. For some, Achar is good but Prachar isn't that great. And for others, Prachar is good but not the Achar." In other words, he says there are very few who does their personal sadhana nicely in addition to preaching. Normally the tendency is to either focus only on one's own sadhana or to focus only on preaching and neglect one's sadhana. Maharaj exemplifies that glorification which Srila Sanatana Goswami gave to Haridas Thakur. Whichever part of the world Maharaj is in, if you want to know, and if you happen to be in a temple, and if you want to know whether Maharaj is there, just go for Mangalarati. He'll always be there. This is how one devotee in Pune told me, because Maharaj is one of the GBCs of Pune temple and I was fortunate to spend good 7 months there. And there's always, Maharaj has a lot of disciples there, and there's always this bus that goes around, especially when Radhanath Maharaj visits, Loknath Maharaj as well as Gopal Krishna Maharaj. They are the 3 co-GBCs there. And then suddenly some car arrives and everyone thinks Maharaj is there and they start to sing, and then some Maharaj's servant would have arrived. So then we were waiting, and then after some time one devotee told me, "Don't worry, you will come to know." I asked, "How?" "Come for Mangalarati, you will see." And then I came for Mangalarati, you will see Maharaj there standing and offering. He does the puja. You go to Mayapur, you will see Maharaj there again in Panchatattva altar. You go to any temple, Radha Rasbihariji, go to Mumbai, you will see. Whichever part of the world Maharaj is in, whichever corner of the world Maharaj is in, he would do. And I heard from his disciples, Maharaj would also perform Guru Puja for Prabhupada, even if he is flying. So you will see such a rare quality Maharaj exemplifies, setting such a good standard for all of us, that unless we take, we cannot give. Unless we do our sadhana properly, which includes chanting, first of all, hearing, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, it's extremely difficult to maintain our Krishna consciousness in a proper state. Maharaj took to his heart the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. You might have come across this famous saying of Srila Prabhupada, books are the basis. So when Harishankar Prabhu shows this quote to Srila Prabhupada, preaching is the essence, books are the basis. Then he tells to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, this quote is very nice. Did you coin it? Prabhupada says, I didn't write it, but keep it. So it was not actually written by Prabhupada, but Prabhupada acknowledged it makes sense, keep it. There are some instances where Prabhupada didn't say it, but Prabhupada would hear him being misquoted by other disciples. But if there is truth in it, Prabhupada would say, keep it. There's one other instance where Prabhupada says, when one of Prabhupada's disciples, Balavanta Prabhu, he stood for election, I think to be a governor in US. He lost the election, but then after some days, he fell sick. So in one morning walk, devotees are asking Prabhupada, Prabhupada, we heard that you told some devotees that Balavanta fell sick because of his association with karmis. And Prabhupada interestingly replied, I didn't say it, but may be true. So every word which Srila Prabhupada actually told, Maharaj took to his heart. I was hearing one glorification of my Guru Maharaj. My Guru Maharaj spent a lot of time in Montreal. And when he was there, he says, there was one Indian gentleman who comes with his office suit. He would come to the temple. You see how many artwork there are in this temple. It was a big room and there are many artworks there. He would come, pay respects to Krishna, and then he would go to each and every artwork in the temple and he would pay obeisance to each one of them. So this is how devotees remember, long before the whole world came to know about his position as a dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada. This is how devotees got introduced to him. And later on, devotees introduced him to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada tells to Gopal Krishna Maharaj, you need to be in India, in Vrindavan. And there were a lot of issues, like Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he touched on that. When many devotees were very passionate and aggressive, Maharaj was very gentle. And you will read a lot of pastimes there. In one place, Prabhupada says, where is Gopal Krishna? And then the devotees tell him, well, Prabhupada, he hasn't visited the temple for last few days. And Prabhupada starts to laugh out loud. And then Prabhupada says, yeah, he knows. If he comes, I'll ask him, where's the book? Because Maharaj was spending so much time in getting the books translated. Because in those days, there were practically very few Indian devotees. The Indian devotees were so sparse in India. I'm talking, not in Western country. This is in India. Prabhupada had to import Western devotees to India to serve the Indian community there. And Maharaj was one of the very few devotees, perhaps the first devotee from Indian background, to have taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada in this glorious ISKCON movement. And you can see the kind of superlative standards him and his disciples are setting, be it in book distribution, they are number one. Be it in how many temples are constructed, number one. I lost the count. Anyone from Delhi, how many temples does Delhi have? Nearing 13, 14. So many of them. And Prabhupada, in one personal instruction, he is telling to Maharaj, and I don't want to quote the politician's name, Prabhupada is telling him, you go make friendship with him. And then Gopal Krishna Maharaj goes, sure Prabhupada, whatever Prabhupada says, he just accepts and goes. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj is asking Prabhupada, but you said, quoting Chanakya Pandit, politicians are compared to like snakes sometimes. Prabhupada said, yes, but this politician is different. And then Gopal Krishna Maharaj asks, how do you know? Prabhupada says, that's just my hunch. And true to Prabhupada's hunch, quote unquote, that politician later becomes the Indian Prime Minister. No prizes for guessing. So you will see Prabhupada was so practical and he was training Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and you can see Gopal Krishna Maharaj is also very, very practical when it comes to dealing with people who are not so much either in favor of Krishna consciousness or not so much familiar with the process of Krishna consciousness, and engaging them nicely, not only to push Krishna consciousness movement in India but throughout the world. Some places which we heard, Hungary, Russia, definitely. So many places. I saw one picture of Maharaj during the Iron Curtain days. It was in an undisclosed location, underground. Maharaj has his kurta rolled up, and then he is cyclostyling the books. And then a few other snaps during his visit at that time is also available in internet. You can have a look. Maharaj would dress himself as Karmi despite him being a sannyasi. So there's a lot of risks Maharaj took to make Krishna consciousness reach out to every nook and corner of this world. And on this day, let's pray to Maharaj that we also become dear to Srila Prabhupada by taking the instruction which Prabhupada held so dear to his heart, that of printing and distributing his books. There is no other better way. Srila Prabhupada says, don't even doubt that Krishna is pleased by book distribution. There are hundreds of quotes of Srila Prabhupada, and we are very fortunate to have such a big community of devotees who are actively engaged in book distribution. So on this day, let's pray to the lotus feet of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj to give us the empowerment, to give us the attachment to chant the holy name of the Lord. Remember, unless we take Krishna, we can't give Krishna. And to teach us how to serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada in a holistic way. By chanting the holy name of Krishna, by serving Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Ji, and distributing the books and the holy name to every nook and corner of Australia. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Vyasa Puja Mahamahotsava Tithi Ki.
Hare Krishna. I'd like to ask His Grace Anand Prabhu to come and read out. Prabhu, I'll give the opportunity to Anand Prabhu to read out.
No problem.
Okay, Anand Prabhu to read out the offerings of His Holiness Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj to Srila Prabhupada, and then we'll take offerings from a couple of other senior devotees, and we'll jump into Kirtan and Bhoga. Can I ask everyone to please squeeze in, move forward, guys. There are plenty of people waiting outside. Please move forward as far as you get, please. Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj to Srila Prabhupada. Okay. So Anand Prabhu is now reading an offering from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj to Srila Prabhupada on his Vyas Puja, which happened a few days. Anand Prabhu, can you read? Yeah, you need bigger font. No, sure.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feast. This year we are celebrating your 127th appearance anniversary. With the message of each day, your fame is increasing in every corner of the globe. Leaders around the world are appreciating your contribution to humanity. After Rupa Goswami resigned from his government service, Lord Chaitanya instructed him to go to Vrindavan and write books on devotional service, identified places where the Lord performed transcendental pastimes on construct temples. You also gave similar instruction to your disciples. Currently, we have 9 temples under construction in North India. By your mercy, all these temples have unique architectural design. In March and April, we opened 2 more temples. One was Gurgaon and the other the Krishna Balaram temple and Gurukul. The Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh appreciated the society's work in spreading Vedic culture, including taking care of cows. The important instructions you gave are: first, always stay in ISKCON and never leave ISKCON. Chant 16 rounds every day and read your books. Distribute your books. Keep your temples neat and clean. Worship our temple deities opulently. To distribute Krishna Prasad, you wanted everybody who come to our temple to be served prasadam, like they do in Gurudwaras and Tirupati temples. To follow the GPCs, your love for me will be shown by how you cooperate with each other. Everything you wanted us to do is there in your book. In your dialogue while preaching the devotees and friends. Recently we celebrated the silver jubilee of your Radha Parthasarathi temple and the golden jubilee of Radha Parthasarathis installation. The deities were installed by you in Delhi 50 years ago. The Radha Parthasarathi temple opened in 1998. This temple now known as the Mother Temple has given birth to the temple in Punjabi Bagh, Nairobi and Rohini. Dwarka, Faridabad, 2 in Ghaziabad, Chipawara, 2 temples in Ludhiana. Your office before you sent to America. The Honorable Prime Minister of India sent a powerful message to our ISKCON. He said, it is hearing to learn about the Silver Jubilee celebration of ISKCON Delhi. Greeting and the best wishes to everyone associated with the ISKCON Delhi, as well as the innumerable devotee of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, not just in Delhi, but across the nation and the world over. For the last 2.5 decades, ISKCON Delhi has bound together the fraternity of devotees of Bhagavan Shri Krishna with the strand of bhakti. Guided by his divine inspiration, it continues to work with a collective spirit. The selfless effort of ISKCON Delhi to render service to humanity through community service are commendable. ISKCON temples are spiritual and social hubs, upholding the highest tradition of service and devotion. The moving force behind the establishment of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada's life and teaching continue to resonate across the world. His endeavor to further spread the divine message of Bhagavan Shri Krishna is truly inspiring. A beacon of hope for every individual and society, the essence of Bhagavad Gita continues to guide humanity the world over. Drawing strength from the scripture, the ISKCON family has made innumerable effort to promote compassion, harmony and brotherhood. During my visit to ISKCON Delhi, I was deeply impressed by the manner in which the temple has become a symbol of Bharatiya. The President of Indian message was also encouraging. In her addresses she stated, I am delighted to know that ISKCON New Delhi is celebrated its Silver Jubilee on April 5, 2023. ISKCON has been at the vanguard of global spiritual rivals, especially by establishing Sanatana Dharma as the way of life. ISKCON temples across the world act as center of spiritual learning, nurturing values, peace and prosperity through invoking love of Lord Krishna. Every temple is a spiritual shelter built to liberate us from fear and ignorance through the knowledge of lift our spirits. ISKCON is now the world famous destination of visitors and tourists to learn more about Hindu culture and the great teaching of the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita, as well as the chanting of Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, you are a true Vaishnava who appeared to save the suffering of humanity. your followers are trying to their best to take your message to every corner, including tribal and village preaching. On this auspicious day, I beg you for your mercy so that I may continue to serve you. I do not have some health issues, but I do have some health issues, but by your causeless mercy, it seems to be controlled. May I become a servant of all Vaishnavas and continue to serve in our ISKCON movement, which is not different from your body. You often stated that ISKCON was your body and the book distribution, your heart. You will be pleased to hear that in Pakistan, your BBT and ISKCON are legally registered. They are working actively in publishing your books in Urdu language. All over the world, your books are being appreciated. Srila Prabhupada, since I first met you in Montreal on June 1st, 1968, you have always been very compassionate towards a fallen soul like myself. I want to beg that you may continue to be merciful to a fool like myself. May your fame and preaching continue to spread in every corner of the globe. May you be recognized as the most compassionate preacher who appeared to propagate Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Your eternal servant, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Swami Maharaj Vyas Puja Maha Mahotsav ki.
Hare Krishna. Well, thank you very much. Just if you can go back a bit, they're going to start offering Bhoga here, and by the time we can still continue with our offerings. I'd like to request His Grace Venuvarat Prabhu to come and offer a few words. And then I'll get Govindcharan Prabhu as a last offering. So I want to listen to Govindcharan Prabhu with a very serious message. That's why I'm keeping him last.
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती राधा गोविंदास गोस्वामी महाराज इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj iti namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Well, it's a great honor and privilege to be able to glorify His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. It is said that Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhate girim yat kripatam aham vande Paramananda Madhavam. Even though it is said that because of the mercy of Lord Shri Krishna, Mukam karoti vachalam, somebody who can't speak, they are able to speak. Pangum, who doesn't have legs, he is able to climb the mountain. Right? But Srila Prabhupada cautions us. In one of the purpose, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that Guru and Krishna, they are like two tracks of the train. Right? You can't leave one to go on one track, so you have to stay on both the tracks together. And Prabhupada very clearly clarifies this concept or this principle that Krishna is a Chaitya Guru from inside and spiritual master as an external Guru from outside. From inside he guides you and from inside he helps you to realize the position of Krishna. So spiritual master, as we read, the significance of Vyas Puja, spiritual master holds a greater significance in our lives. Yeah? No question about that. But His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj has a special position in Srila Prabhupada's family. I was listening Somebody was saying that Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he is the number one person in Prabhupada's army who can fix all the troubles, who can resolve all the issues. But also some devotees were saying, he is also got a name called Bhutnath. I don't know if you ever heard of it. He's always Gopal Krishna Maharaj, they would call him Bhutnath. Bhutnath means what? Who is the Nath of all the Bhutas, of all the demons. And they were saying that 50% of Maharaj's disciples are demons. Not the one who live in Sydney, by the way. But the point that they were making is Maharaj is so merciful. It is out of his compassion and mercy that he is able to transform everyone into a pure devotee. Right? Just by his presence, just by his dealing with the other devotees. Once in Delhi temple it so happened that one of Srila Prabhupada's disciple, he came and he got very upset. And in front of Gauritai deities, he started shouting at Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He started shouting at him, what kind of arrangement you have made in this temple here? This kind of facility hasn't been provided to me. There was some issue and he was just going and His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, very humbly, he kept listening. And then Maharaj asked forgiveness from his godbrother. And then he instructed one of the devotees in the temple to come and inquire what has happened. Why this brother of mine is not being looked after. And then later on it so happened that his godbrother realized that there was some miscommunication. But then it essentially speaks, how he is able to maintain 17 temples, they're saying, in Delhi. GBC of, one of the main GBC of India, and so many other designations, as they said. But it is his compassion, it is his dealing. So Trinadapi Sunichena, so he is literally living that, right? It so happened once in Vrindavan, one devotee came and same incident happened. He again came and he started, shouting at Gopal Krishna Maharaj in front of everyone that because of you, this is not happening, and he started blaming Maharaj. And then after the devotee left, then Maharaj inquired, where does this devotee live? And they said he lives in Keshar Kunj. If you are familiar, Keshar Kunj is just opposite our Krishna Balaram temple. And then afterwards Maharaj went to that devotee's place or house where he was staying, and Maharaj knocked at his door. The devotee opened the door and Maharaj paid his dandavad to the devotee. And then this devotee was flabbergasted. He said, what kind of person you are? I just insulted you, humiliated you in front of everyone, and here you are standing right here and you are paying dandavats to me. And then Maharaj once again apologized. Maharaj said, I have been given this responsibility to provide appropriate facilities for you all to perform your devotional service. And for any reason you are not getting that facility or you are being inconvenienced because of something, then it is my responsibility. I ask forgiveness from you. And that just melted the other person. And then he started paying obeisances to Maharaj. So the point that Prabhuji, Mataji, we can just go on. Maharaj has so many qualities. But this is the quality, this is the essence. If you try to expand the family of Srila Prabhupada, right? We are now about to start the construction of the temple. His Grace Amog Leela Prabhu was saying once that when they were building the temple in Dwarka in Delhi, they had built a temporary temple. And the major construction work was about to begin. And Amog Leela Prabhu said, then I asked an intelligent question in my own mind. He asked an intelligent question from the engineer, when they're doing this drilling work going around it, because they had a temporary temple where the worship has to go on. He said, when they're doing the drilling work around the temple, will the noise come inside the temple? Will it disturb our activities? And Amog Leela Prabhu said, I thought Maharaj will say, oh, what an intelligent question, Amog. You've asked a very good question. The services should not be disturbed. Instead, then Maharaj told Amog Leela Prabhu, what is happening with you? He said, I was like what? And then Maharaj told him, these drilling machines, they are like kirtan. They are the sound of kirtan, right? They are not an inconvenience. You should consider it like kirtan, and it will help us, progress in our devotional service. So that is the mood. So the point is, once again, I'm trying to highlight that point is, so Maharaj would just turn something that you think is an inconvenience, he would just give a different perspective to that situation, and then the whole thing will change. So if you start thinking that it is the chanting of holy names, then the mood will change. So that's the mood, Prabhuji Mataji. And I'll just say one last example, and I've been given 5 minutes. But once again, Maharaj is, how he transforms, how he will read your mind. So there is one devotee I met in Delhi temple. And by the way, my journey to ISKCON started from Sri Sri Radha Parthasati temple in New Delhi. So that's where, we began. We started going to the temple. We got darshan of Maharaj, and that's why we are here. So this devotee was saying he was working in a bank, and he was at a very senior position. In last few years of his working at the bank, he started coming to the temple. He moved from Chittiwada place, which is Chandni Chowk, Lal Killa area. He moved from there close to the temple, and he started coming to the temple. And then Maharaj recognized him. Then Maharaj asked him, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Maharaj, I'm working at the bank." Maharaj said, "Oh, very good. What do you do?" And he said, "Maharaj, I'm in the account section. I take care of the books." Maharaj said, "Very nice. You should keep doing that." And then Maharaj found out that he's going to retire in some time. And then Maharaj told him, "When you retire, you can help with our accounts of the temple." But instead, when this person retired, he came to see Maharaj, and he said, "Maharaj, I actually want to read all Srila Prabhupada's books." Maharaj said, "Very nice. You should do this service." And then he started coming to the library of the temple. He will come, and this Prabhu was telling me himself. He said, "I came and I started reading the books." Then after 2 months, Maharaj met me on the stairs again. Maharaj said, "Tumhari reading kaisi chal rahi hai? How is your reading going?" He said, "Maharaj, very nice." Maharaj said, "Keep it up." After 4 months, Maharaj met him again, asked him, "How is your reading going?" He said, "Maharaj, I am doing very well." And then after 6 months, Maharaj asked him, "How many books have you read? You've been reading for 6 months, how many books have you read? Which books have you read?" And then he did not have any answer. Right? So far he was saying, "I'm reading. And then Maharaj told him, "Look, it's better you come and start doing the accounting services at our temple." So this person then joined the accounting service, and now he is responsible for all the accounts. And he was telling me how he worked with the accounts team, and Maharaj is so happy with his service, and he is able to help, cut so many spendings in the budget. He takes care of so many other things. So like this Prabhu was saying that Maharaj read my mind. Even though I wanted to do this service, sometimes we have a misconception that I like this service. If I do this service, I'm able to please Krishna. But it is the spiritual master. It is the spiritual master who is able to read our mind, who is able to find out our skills, our qualities, and then accordingly shape us, accordingly guide us. Yeah. So that's the greatness of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much for a wonderful offering. I'll ask Govindan Prabhu to come and speak a few words, and then I'll share a couple of stories, and we'll go into Kirtan while Bova is getting off it. So if you don't know, His Grace Govindan Prabhuji he lives in Radhakund from last probably 15 or so years, and he's serving there full time. So we are very blessed to have his association here.
Okay, we'll chant once Hare Krishna Mahamantra together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, राधा गोपीनाथ की, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की, गौर नित्याय की, पंचतत्वा की, इस्कॉन गुरु वृंद की, आनंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नित्याय गौर प्रेमानंदी। So we are very fortunate to celebrate Maharaj Vyas Puja, and Maharaj is one of the stalwarts in ISKCON movement. And I'll just give some brief pastimes with him and Prabhupada. And I was told by last Samaj that Vyas Maharaj said he should first glorify Prabhupada, then his disciples. So somehow, I never met Prabhupada, but I have many dreams of Prabhupada. And somehow, that's how I came. I used to come here in this temple, I used to pay a visit to Prabhupada, and then I used to ask Prabhupada, please give me some service. So as soon as I stand up, I get service. So much service. Then he came in a dream. I said, please make me a devotee. And he said, do you know any devotee? So I told two names of his disciples. He said, no, no, no. Then after that, somehow, it's a long story. Second dream, I saw Prabhupada coming in the dream. He just is flying there, he's coming down, and he's laughing at me. And then I paid obeisance to him, and he's laughing at me, and he flew back. So somehow I have many dreams. So I was in Radhakund when Radharani took me to Vrindavan in Radhakund, January 1998, Nityananda Tirupati Day, and I had dream of Prabhupada and Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is sitting beside me wearing all blue clothes and turban, and Prabhupada comes out from lecture hall and is coming towards me and is saying, is there any preaching going on in Fiji? I said, yes, Prabhupada, near my house there is Hanumanji temple and preaching is going on there. And he said, no, 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 make another one. So after that, I paid obeisance, the dream finished. And somehow, like it all happened what he told me in the dream. I was in Fiji for 14 months with the brahmacharis preaching every town, every village. And I will just give you a short story about Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Prabhupada. One time, Gopal Krishna Maharaj's wife brought the Gopal Krishna Maharaj's check, salary check to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, how come you gave the whole check to me? How will you spend the rest of the time? You got no Lakshmi. How are you going to stay at home? He said, you tell me now how much Lakshmi you have. You want. Then she said, this much. So he gave that much Lakshmi to his wife. Then later on, Prabhupada called all his disciples and Gopal Krishna Maharaj. That time he was walking in Pepsi. And then he told all his sannyasi disciples, he is real sannyasi. He gave me the whole check. So there are many stories. I don't want to take time now. You can go with the program. Maharaj has some disciples who come to me. They are with me now. And I can tell you one more story. One devotee, he was a bhakta here, Nikhil, from Jalandhar. So he was very intimate to me. We had a spiritual seekers youth group here when I was here. And then he used to come to Radhakund, he used to always cry, please come back. I said, no, you come back to India and you will stay with your dad. And then one day we were sitting in this Krishna Goswami temple after Mangalarti, And I had a desire, Maharaj in Mangal Aarti, and that Maharaj initiated him, You won't believe, Maharaj just came and sat beside me with him. Didn't say anything, and later on I said, Maharaj will initiate you now, you go to Delhi. He went to Delhi, he got 5 minutes, 15 minutes interview, and he got initiated. After that, I went to his home in Jalandhar, and he got already married, and I asked his wife, have you got initiation? She said, no. I said, okay, you go to Ludhiana, Maharaj will come there for Rath Yatra, and you go and say to Maharaj that you want to get initiated. You won't believe. Somehow they both went to Ludhiana for Rath Yatra, and Maharaj personally asked his wife, are you initiated? She said, no. Okay. Maharaj said, you come to Chandigarh temple, I will give you initiation tomorrow. Next day I rang, and they were astonished. They were going to Chandigarh temple for initiation. So all these pure devotees, they are called Trikaldarshi. They know the past, present and future as Krishna. So please, all of you, so any pure devotee comes to Sydney, you all serve them with whole heart. And then Krishna will be very pleased, and then you take initiation. Those who are initiated, 100%, the spiritual master and all these Maharajas, they will bless you to go back home, back to Godhead. I have stories, I don't have time now. They are waiting for the next session for the Aarti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I am living in Radhakund. Our Guru Maharaj Bhakti Sarvadhamma Swami has put his temple there, Manipur Gopalji temple. You are always welcome there. Please come. Hare Krishna.
Let's go in Charan Prabhu Ki. So we'd like to have a small kirtan now, and then we'll jump into Pushpanjali, and then we'll do Guru Vandana for His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Before that, a lot of devotees have covered many points. I'll just give you a quick short stories from what I heard from senior devotees while I was associating with His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So in early days, last question, what do you think? How much money should we donate from our income if you are a Grihastha? What's the standard? 10? Someone is saying 10? Standard is 50%. If you're a Grihastha, if you're earning 10,000, 5,000 should go to temple. Well, I don't do it, I'm just saying it. But yeah, that's the standard. And His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, when he met Srila Prabhupada, he was a C-level employee or even executive employee of PepsiCo. He was promoted to be even a CEO of PepsiCo in North America. And whenever he'll get a salary, he will go and give 100% to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada will give him some pocket money, 2% or 5%. And Maharaj will survive with that. So that's how much dedicated Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was towards Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Later on, it became a very big issue with his family that mother and father started complaining that you need to give us some money as well, although they are from very rich background. So just to give the magnanimity of how aristocratic family he is coming from, his grandfather's house was in pre-Pakistan, like pre-India or before the split happened, so Pakistan. And house bricks were made up of gold in some of the rooms. So that's how rich it was. Just imagine. And after the split happened between India and Pakistan army took over that building, and now it's National Bank of Pakistan. That was Maharaj's grandfather's house. And same for Maharaj's father. He was a very big commanding officer in Naval Force in India. So you can imagine how much dedicated he would be. Now, prelude why I said that, when he joined ISKCON, we see sort of, many times we see politics going on, because we come from different backgrounds, different culture, that is prone for politics. Someone actually, when Maharaj was in charge of Vrindavan Temple as a GBC, someone actually physically slapped him. Imagine that, let that sink in. You're telling someone who's executive in PepsiCo who is a double MBA, left everything to join Srila Prabhupada mission, and someone comes and slaps you. What will you do? You'll just leave ISKCON and go. And Maharaj did nothing of that. Maharaj didn't even complain to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj just took it on himself, he started chanting, and that's it. And somehow this news went to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, what did Gopal Krishna Maharaj do? Like at that time it was Gopal. What did Gopal Krishna do? And devotee said he didn't do anything, he did not retaliate at all. And then Prabhupada said, one day will come and he will lead the entire ISKCON. And he will see how much services he has taken upon himself. Okay. So as I said in my last puja offering, His Holiness has distributed most number of books in ISKCON, printed most number of books in ISKCON, distributed most number of plates, prasadam plates in ISKCON. Delhi temple alone distributed 4.5 million plates, probably every month also. So, very well. So that's sort of the appreciation we should have for disciples of Srila Prabhupada. It is not to emphasize that only my Guru is great. Every single Guru has given this chariot of Srila Prabhupada. And because of their mercy, we are here today. So I'd like to end this my offering here. And we will ask Harinam Prabhu to do a kirtan. And then we'll do Pushpanjali and Guru Vandana. I was supposed to give a class today, but I think we are running way over time. So. Ganesham Prabhu is requesting if we can do Pushpanjali first, and we'll continue with the Kirtan and Guru Puja. So I'd like everyone to please stand up. And I'll ask Ganesham Prabhu to lead Pushpanjali. So you'll have to repeat after him. We usually do it 3 times. And some devotees will distribute flowers. Please distribute some flowers. Be a miser when you're distributing, because there are a lot of devotees. We don't have enough flowers. So don't be so generous when you're picking up flowers.
Hare Krishna. So we're going to offer the prayers for His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So please repeat after me. And at the end, when I say Esha Pushpanjali, we'll be offering the flowers to Maharaj. I will let you know. We'll be offering flowers 3 times. For now, please repeat the prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Khadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Iti Namine Prabhupadasya Sahityam Ya Prakashya Vitirya Cha Pracharam कृतवना साधु भागवत पद्या ते नमः नम ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नम ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती इति नामिने श्री वार्षबाणवे देवी दैताय कृपाब्दये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान गायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाध्य श्री रूपानुगा भक्तिगा श्री गौर करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्ध अपसिद्धांत द्वंद्वहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षा वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलंबा रसांबोधे पादांबुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगा वरायते गौराविर्भव भूमेस्त्वं निर्दिष्ट सज्जन प्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते जयतां सुरतो पंगोर मम मंद मतिर्गते मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्बोजो राधा मदन मोहन दिव्य वृंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमद श्रीमद रत्नागर सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद राधा शील गोविंद देव प्रस्थालिभि सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमान रासा रसारंभे वंशीवटा तथा स्थितः कर्षण वेणु श्वनैर्गोपे गोपीनाथ श्रेयस्तुनः तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर Shivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We are now going to offer the pranam mantra of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. We are going to recite it 3 times, and at the end of every time, I'll be saying Esha Pushpanjali. Please offer 1/3 of your flower, and that way we are going to do it 3 times. Please repeat. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Iti Namine Prabhupadasya Sahitamya Prakashya Vitiracha Pracharam Kritavana Sadhu Bhagavat Padaya Te Namaha Esha Pushpanjali Samarpayami. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Vyasa Puja Mahotsav ki Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Iti Namine Prabhupadasya Sahityamya Prakashya Vitiryacha Pracharam Kritavana Sadhu Bhagavat Padaya Te Namaha Esha Pushpanjali Samarpayami. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Iti Namine Prabhupadasya Sahityamya Prakashya Vitiryacha Pracharam Kritavana Sadhu Bhagavat Padaya Te Namaha Esha Pushpanjali Samarpayami. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Vyasa Puja Mahotsav Titi ki. Hare Krishna. Now we'll get the Guru Puja started.
Hare Krishna, if someone can remove the barriers out as well, please. So that everyone gets straight.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Srila Gurudev. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma चक्षुदान दियो जय जन्म जन्म प्रभु से ओ चक्षुदान दियो जय जन्म जन्म प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana, Srila Prabhupada Loyo Sharana, Srila Gurudev Loyo Sharana, Srila Gurudev Loyo Sharana, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin, Iti Namine Namo. Oh Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desha Karine Namaste. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. जनक राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे everyone genuinely जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय श्री गुरुदेव जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर हत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace अभय चरणानंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर हत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाशादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की राजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की नवदीप मायापुर धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगमाई की यमुनमाई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी महारानी की समवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की युगधर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution Ki. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Ki. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki. Hare Krishna. Thank you all once again for coming and making this auspicious festival more auspicious. So we have come to the last part of the Vyasa Puja program, which is Prasadam. So before you head out to honor for Prasadam, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the disciples of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I think we are having this Vyasa Puja festival of Maharaj in the temple for the first time. Let's chant one Hare Krishna Mahamantra for all the disciples of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if you want to hear more instructions of Maharaj, they are available in the form of books. So outside in the foyer area, we'll have a table of all Maharaj's books. If any of you like to take a copy, you can take a copy of for your own to your home for a small donation. So you can please approach Rampriya Prabhu. We will see them in the foyer.
And any donations which you give, we'll be giving it back to temple. As we know, we are building a new house for Shri Shri Radha Gopinathji. So it would be awesome if you can donate some Lakshmi. Books are there for you to take, but please make some contribution towards temple. Okay? And we'll now have Harinam Prabhu and Ghanshyam Prabhu. We just want to give, there's one devotee who is aspiring for Maharaj. So I'll just give a photo. Anand Prabhu, is he here? Anand Prabhu? No. Okay. I'll just give an offering photo of Keshav Prabhu, come in front. Both of you come in front. Keshav, no. Come. So Keshav Prabhu is aspiring for His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and I would like Ghanshyam Prabhu to give that photo to him. Anyone can take somebody photo.
Yeah! Okay, some of you, one of you, please take a photo, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Sanjeev is taking it. Post for him. Thank you.
We'll have one bhajan, Vaishnava. You may go and have prasad. It's already served outside. We're gonna have more bhajan and then we'll jump into Aarti straight up.
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करुए दासे त्रिनापेखा अतिहीना गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु करुए दासे त्रिनापेखातिहीना कृपाविंदो देया करुए दासे त्रिनापेखातिहीना सकला साने बल दिया करो निज मन स्प्रियाहीना सकला सम्माना करिते सकति देहो नाथा जथा जथा तबे तो गाइबे हरि नामा सुखे तबे तो गाइबे हरि नामा अपराध बेहा अपराध बेहा कृपा बिंदु देया करुए दासे त्रिनापेखातिहीना गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु देया करुए दासे अतिहीना कवे नो कृपा लभिए जना कीर्तार्थ होइबे नाथा शक्ति बुद्धिहीना आमी आके देना शक्ति बुद्धिहीना आमी आके देना करो मोरे आत्मसा करो मोरे आत्मसा करो मोरे आत्मा सा आत्मा सा योग्यता विचारे किछु नाही पाए तुम्हारा करुणा सारा करुणा ना होइले कन्या कंदिया Prabhupada.